Everyone, welcome back to room 114, day 2 today. I want to start everything off today first going over the practice problem from yesterday on distance and displacement. We'll then go over your warm-up question, so make sure you've already completed your warm-up question for today, Tuesday, the 31st. Then I'm going to go over with you how we're going to solve problems using a three-step method for all of the physical science stuff we're going to do today. So to get us started, the whiteboard is in and operational now. The first thing I want to look at is our practice problem from our practice problem we did yesterday on distance and displacement. So we went from point A to point B, which was 20 meters south, then from point B to point C, which was 10 meters to the east. So the distance, you're simply taking 20 plus 10, and your distance is going to be 30 meters that you travel. The displacement, again, we use Pythagorean's theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared is 20, b will be 10 squared equals c squared. 20 squared would be 400, 10 squared is 100, 400 plus 100 would be 500 equals c squared. Take the square root of both sides, so c equals the square root of 500, which would then be 22.36 meters. Key is make sure you're always giving me units. There's very, very few instances where we don't use units in science class, so make sure you're always telling me, what unit are we using here? Is it meters? Is it centimeters? Is it decimeters? What unit is that going to be? Second, I want to move on to a warm question for today, for 331. Whenever we do problems in here, we are going to use a three-step method. I know this is going to sound like overkill to you. For a simple problem like the one you did today, you don't need to use this three-step method, but it's going to come in handy as we get down the line and we start getting more and more information. We have more and more formulas to use. This method is definitely going to help you out. So I'm going to insist that you use this three-step method because, like I said, you won't need it right now, but just get in the habit of doing that because it's going to pay its dividends later. So we looked at FloJo, Florence Griffith Joyner. Hopefully everyone got to see the video of her. She was the fastest woman in the world, and I believe she still is as far as the 200 meters goes. She ran the 200 meters on time of 21.34 seconds. So whenever we're solving a problem, the first thing we want to do is write down the information. That's step one. What do we know? We know, again, her distance was 200 meters, her time was 21.34 seconds, and we're trying to solve for velocity. So that brings us to our first question, the warm-up. What is the difference between velocity and speed? Essentially, we're going to use them interchangeably. Speed is also distance over time. Velocity, you just include the direction. So if we were going to give an answer for velocity, we would have to give a distance or a velocity in meters per second and also say in what direction, north, south, east, or west. We're going to kind of use speed and velocity interchangeably because the formula is the same. Just be aware that technically, whenever we're using velocity, we need to include a direction with that velocity. Step two is to set up the equation. And at this point, we only have one equation, so it's a real simple one. Velocity equals distance divided by time. Eventually, we're going to get more and more equations, so you'll need to have, you need to choose which equation am I going to use here. The third step is to solve it. Just plug the information into our equation and solve it. Our distance was 200 meters. Our time was 21.34 seconds. Take 200 divided by 21.34, you get 9.37. Our unit is meters per second. You don't have to memorize units. Just look at what units are in your problem. Always include the units when you set your equation up, so when you're all done, they're left for you. We have meters over seconds, or meters per second is going to be our solution there. All right, hopefully that helps you with solving problems. If you guys have any questions, check into my office hours. I am always available. I'll be there in the mornings, I'll be there in the afternoon, and I will also be there once a week during your classroom period. Your assignment for tomorrow is to, on page 69, answer the section review questions 1 through 3. You can do these right in your notebook, guys. I'm not going to have you turn these in actually for credit, but we're going to go over them tomorrow. The reason I can't have you really turn these in, one of them is going to be a graph. It's hard to graph things, obviously, and turn them into me. And even when you're doing the problems to set up, give me info, equation, and solve it, it's hard to do that when you're not on your notebook as well. So we're going to answer questions 1 through 3 and show me all 3 steps when you're solving for these equations. Tomorrow we'll come back. We'll go over these questions here. I'll give you a warm-up, and we will start moving into talking about acceleration. Hope everyone's safe. Hope everyone's doing well. Talk to you guys soon.